Carlos Nelson with Cascade Sports, and today we have one of our college coaches out of Wisconsin, Miss Angel Whitestone. Whitestone?
Whetstone.
Whetstone? All
Yeah.
right. Hey, Angel, tell our audience a little bit about yourself, where you coach, and then, as I said, go back to kindergarten, let them know who you are, some of your mentors, and some of the moments in your life that change your life, individuals and what have you.
Yeah, for
Sure.
sure. Thank you. So thank you for having me first. But yeah, so I'm originally from Orlando, Florida, born and raised. I played high school basketball and volleyball for a couple of years at the end of my high school career. But I started off really interested in playing basketball, but I did start late, so I wasn't the best talented, but I was a person I was going to work hard. I really enjoyed my time in playing basketball and knew that I wanted to stay within the sport, but I didn't know that there were different opportunities to be a collegiate basketball player, right?
What high
It's
school did you go to? Tell our audience the names of the schools.
Yeah, I went to Lake Howell High School, Lake Howell High School in Winter Park, Florida. So right after high school, I started coaching as a student assistant coach at Division II school, Rollins College, where I was there for 4 years. Really was a part of the program, and that is also one of my mentors too. My college coach there. I didn't play, but as a coach, I really learned a lot from him. He had been at the program for over 30 years, and he's still there, and so just kind of guiding me with my coaching experience as well. After college, I went to undergrad at Texas A&M University where I was the club women's basketball coach for my second year in school there as an undergraduate studying sports management in my master's program. Um, it was the time that I felt like, okay, this is something that I wanted to do. I wanted to coach. It was my first time really coaching by myself. We had 12 girls and just me, and practices were like 9 p.m. at night, and we were traveling to Houston every weekend to play. But that was the place where I grew the most. We won two championships, 30 games. It really felt like I could be a coach that
What
I
was the
could.
name of the team?
It's just Texas A&M club basketball. Yeah. But really felt like I could be a good coach. And that experience really allowed me to do that. Um, Going on after that, I went back to Rollins for a year as a director of operations and assistant coach. And then after that, I went to SIUE, which is Southern Illinois University of Edwardsville, as a director of operations. And then with COVID, you could be on the floor too, so like an assistant coach as well. So I was there for 2 seasons. And then after that, I went to Missouri State for 1 season as a video coordinator. And then after that, I found myself here in Madison as a head coach for a Division II JUCO basketball program, women's basketball. And I think your question was going back to kindergarten. I don't know. I guess honestly, I was really shy growing up as a kid, didn't talk much. But being in sports that allowed me to embrace and find who I was as a person. And so that's something that really made a major impact. I'm trying to think, like,
Did you have
I,
siblings?
I have one sister. Yep, I have one sister. It's just us two.
Is she athletic?
She is not athletic, so she was like the girly girl of us, and I was a little tomboy. But yeah, so she's our girly girl. She's a realtor right now, in Atlanta, but we're definitely two opposites.
So, talk about your first year at the university.
Yeah, my first year here at Madison College was one to remember, and I hope this story goes to a lot of people. But my first year here, I got the job in July, so it was super late, didn't have time to recruit. We started the season with 8 players. Then we ended up with five. We played 15 games with 5 players. Two were basketball players, three were soccer players, and that was my first experience as a head coach. And it was a lot of skill development and practices. It was a lot of going over plays, how to play basketball, how to dribble. And that was my first year, like being a collegiate head coach. I can laugh about it now, but it was definitely tough to go through it. but trying to have energy, trying to be passionate, like show my passion every day. We won one game, lost 24. Um, but as we continue to grow, I know like we continue to get better. So that was my first year here.
All right, let's talk about this your first year. You
hmm
inherited that team, right?
hmm
All right, let's talk about your second year. Let's talk about how you start changing the playing field.
Yeah, so my second year was last year. It really we hit the road with recruiting, really focusing on bringing in a class, because we literally were starting from scratch, and so we brought in 12 players. In my second year, we finished similar to the first year. We finished with eight. Um, we had a couple of major injuries that happened, so that kind of put us down, but that second year was really my first year. We were creating the foundation, and so really finding what I like as a coach, what Wisconsin and the Midwest has to offer from players, and realizing that there was a switch from coming up here versus in the South. In Florida, JUCO is pretty big. Like people want to go JUCO if they can't go NCAA up first. But I realized up here in Wisconsin. A lot of the schools are Division III, and so a lot of people would rather go Division III than JUCO. So that was also, a turning point, trying to figure out how do we recruit that, but also how do we recruit when we just went 1-24. So that was a really tough part. I'm very grateful for all the kids that we signed because they really believed in something I was really just trying to tell them. It was it was just a vision. It was really just a vision that we were trying to build. We finished 11 and 17 last year. Definitely a big growth. We broke a lot of records that hadn't been broken in the past years, and so really excited for that. And the group we have this year going into the third year, we have the foundation. Now we're putting on the roof, and so. We have 13 girls that we have this year, and just really we really focus on the things that we didn't have last year, with which was point guards, and people that can defend 1 through 5. So really excited for the year we have coming up.
So this is what I go through in my own organization, and I always use a basketball sports analogy uh, about players, whether you're a player on a team or a team player in a corporation. Players on teams, you've been coached by other coaches, and how hard is it for you to buy into a new coach's game plan? I find it's very hard, especially with adults, for them to actually buy into something that is new.
Yeah.
How hard was it for you to get your uh, new recruits to buy into your style and your philosophy?
Yeah, I would say one, the buy-in had to be at the beginning when we were recruiting. So I was upfront and honest about what we had inherited, what we had done what we were doing that year to recruit our players. I felt like me being honest with them really showed like I'm being vulnerable and we need you here. But we see that you can make a really big impact. Um, I think the buy-in is tough when they get to the college level because a lot of our players are always like, well, I didn't do like this in high school. And it's like, yeah, were you winning in high school? Were you winning championships? Right? And so trying to change their mindset to like buy into what we do and be 100% all in. I think that was definitely the toughest part my first year. And even into the second year really is like trying to get them to buy into something that they couldn't see. Like we had to create the vision for them. They couldn't see it. So it was hard for them to buy in and trust what we were trying to do. But I think over time, like they're able to see that. And I think definitely going into this third year, they're able to see our second years and buy into what we've already built and continue to build on that.
And that produces wins.
Yeah.
But I find it's very hard, like I said, in the corporate world or in the sports world, when you've been exposed to so much media, you think what they're giving you is how to win, and they're not
Yeah.
giving you how to win. And when you start, one of the major things you said, I was honest with them. I showed vulnerability. I told them the truth about the program, but they can make a difference.
Mhm.
But they have to believe that they can make a difference.
Yeah.
And another thing that you said that was very important, once they see that, the change begins. They
Hmm.
have to wholeheartedly put their efforts towards that.
Yeah, definitely.
So now the next question to you is, how important is it for you to have a good administration behind you?
Yeah, I think that's really important, definitely at the collegiate level, and the JUCO level too. Like with us being a two-year school, like a lot of our head coaches have other responsibilities. So for me, I oversee our compliance, our eligibility, and a lot more other responsibilities. And then it's our AD. So our AD, when I was going through the process of interviewing, I felt like he was innovative enough for women's basketball and sports in general, but I also felt like I could be supported here. And that was something that was really important for me when I was going through the process and interviewing for different schools of um, what that looks like. And I can see that for sure after my first year where I won one game. If I was D1, I definitely would have been let go. But the office was extremely supportive. My athletic director was extremely supportive. It was like, it's a building year, right? And to stay positive and that I think for me helped me out like in the long run because it was tough. Like you go into the game thinking you're going to win with five players, but you know, reality was, we weren't going to win every single game, but to have my athletic administration here at our university really supporting me, and outside of athletics too, our president was supporting us, coming to our games and talking to me after our games, and that made a huge impact. And he was a man of color too, so like having a black president, seeing him at our games, coming to talk to me after the games, I just felt supported here in my first year.
Well, that's really phenomenal because I know a little bit about Wisconsin. It's white as milk.
Yeah.
And y'all are flies in the milk, baby. But
Yeah.
uh, and that's good that you got that type of support, and that
Hmm.
really shows the type of community that
Yeah.
you really are around. So the next question that goes hand in hand with that about support from the community, your fan base.
Yeah. I think it's tough to get people into a two-year school to see our fans. Even the students here, a lot of times, like I'm walking around campus, when we start to have games, inviting people to games, they're like, oh, I didn't even know we had sports here. So that's been really tough too, is like trying to get that community involved. I really try to make sure we're getting community partners. So I go out in the community, I'm making phone calls, to get team meals for our players. Like this isn't D1, so we don't have the funding to get them meals, but I do my best to make sure we can have a couple of restaurants partnering with us and sponsoring meals. And so I feel like me getting out and showing my face, I'm hoping that that helps bring people into our games and not just, the local, but a little bit wider of Wisconsin and Madison and trying to get people to come see our school, come see our facilities. We have great facilities as a two-year college. And so wanting to bring those fans in. It's been tough the 2 years, but I'm hoping, this year it comes with winning, right? Like you want to see people win. That's fun when you win. So hopefully last year we were able to showcase that we can win, and hopefully this year we're able to showcase that again.
Uh, well, what I would like to emphasize also with Cascade Sports being home and a student athlete, how important is your kids getting their education?
Yeah, it's really important for me. Definitely with women's basketball, a lot of our players aren't going to go to play on. They're coming to a 2 year to get a specific degree, and so that's something that's really important. I make sure that our girls are going to classes, that they're getting degrees, one. Um, and making sure that they're taking their education serious. Like if they want to go to a 4 year after this, our school has a pathway program where we create pathways for our all of our students to go to 4 year institutions. That way, they're not paying a ton of money for their last 2 years. They're coming here, they're paying less than $5,000 if they're in state, local. they're getting scholarships if they're able to get scholarships, and then they're able to go to those four-year institutions.
So, would you have some, in closing, some advice for young freshmen, uh, as from a student point of view and a coach point of view, and for young college women coming out of college in a lane of sports, some advice for them? So first, run it down for the kids, what you would advise a young freshman.
Yeah, freshmen, I would say listen to your coaches, listen to your peers, because we only want what's best for our players. I think my players would definitely say if they have an issue, they come to me and I'm gonna help them find the best solution. Or if I don't know the answer, we will go find the answer together. And so just knowing that you'll have support from the people around you, but being open to it and being open to make mistakes, but learn from them. You want to learn from your lessons. You don't want to keep going back and forth and doing the same things over again. And then for people coming out of college and trying to get into sports, um, I think honestly taking a chance and being vulnerable. I think for me, when I look back when I was going to college, I took a chance to reach out to the head coach and ask like to be a student coach. Like I asked my dad to go do it for me because he knew the coach, and he was like, "Nah, you gotta go ask for yourself." And me being shy in my shell, I just went to his office one day. I was like, "Hey, like I just want to know if I can help with the team." And from that moment, that really changed, my pathway. I don't know where, if I wasn't coaching, I don't know what else I'd be doing. And so just taking the chance to try something different and being vulnerable and talking to people and getting to know people, because it is tough to get into sports, but if you're able to take a chance, and someone will take a chance on you too.
The squeaky wheel gets the grease. The main thing I find, when someone lets you in the door, you really need to let them know that you really appreciate it and you recognize that it's an opportunity, not for you to learn some things, for them to learn some things
Mhm.
also through you. A lot of time, that type of communication is not available.
Yeah.
So, as we always close, for you chumps out there think Cascade Sports is soft, we go hard in the paint. And you definitely don't want to fool with us under the boards because we get rough and ready. Good night.
This program is brought to you by the City of Fountains Coaches Association.